All right, with us today here from Southside Recycling, Mr. Kenny Greco. Kenny, how are you?
Good, buddy. Good to meet you.
Hey, thanks so much for coming down. So talk a little bit about Southside Recycling. How did you get started? How did you get into the business?
Well, I got into business in the mid-'90s because I needed a job, and playing guitar wasn't paying all the bills. And I worked in a couple scrap yards, and then I worked for my family business for a while. And in 2014, I had an idea about putting a business in my old neighborhood. I grew up on the South Side. I grew up actually 7 blocks away from where my business is. My mom still lives there. I went to school 3 blocks from there. I went to high school 2 blocks from there. And, in 2014, we opened and everyone said, "You're nuts. You're crazy. No one's going to come. You're going to get robbed. You're going to get shot." And they were all wrong. And now we're going on our 11th year. And what makes us different, if I could say, is everyone thinks about a junkyard. Oh, you're a junkyard. No, we are a recycling center that recycles metals, computers, laptops, which we'll get to. But the most important thing is you don't get flat tires at my place, and it's drive-thru. So it could be 10 degrees outside. It's heated inside. You drive in, you get unloaded, or if you're young and strapping, you help unload. If you're elderly, no, we will unload for you. And then you pull up, you get paid, and you leave. And so, like I said, we recycle all types of metals. The only thing that I want to jump right ahead and say this, we do not recycle is catalytic converters. Go ahead and ask why.
Yeah.
Because they're stolen. I don't want them. So other than that, it's steel, copper, brass, and I'm talking appliances, all that stuff.
What sort of things can people, I guess, recycle or get the most money for? Copper
and brass. And, people always joke around, "Oh, you get a lot of crackheads." No, when you come to me at my place, you have to give a license. And we have 8 cameras taking pictures. So if you're dumb enough to steal something and bring it to me, we have your license, your address, your plate number, your picture of your car, a picture of your face doing the transaction. So back to your original point, copper's still hanging pretty good, anywhere from $250 to $320 a pound. Brasses are still good. Aluminum's up a little bit. Stainless steel. I drive around and see these grills on the curbs. Well, bring them to me and get money for them. Otherwise, a guy's going to come in a pickup overnight and throw it in, and he'll make the money that was meant for you.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did Youngstown used to have city recycling? They don't anymore, do they? Like a citywide effort for it, or do they still? Guys, I know they still pick it up, but doesn't it just go to the? Like I had heard that most of it just went to the landfill anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a little dirty secret of my industry. They had the plastics recycling and all that. Look it up. Like, only 4% of the plastics we recycle get recycled in America. You can go on YouTube, look it up. They package it, they bale it, they put it in a ship, and they take it over in Asia and they dump it. And it's like a lot of people I want to tell that to, because there are things they could be recycling that they don't. And yet everyone's like, "Nope, you got to separate the plastics." And I'm going, no, it's the biggest scam in the history of the recycling of this country. Another issue that we just started taking, we will take, not pay for, but we will accept lithium-ion batteries, laptops, rechargeables. And the reason I say we'll take them is because I'm getting enough for them to cover my freight, but everyone's on this push to go rechargeable batteries, tools, lawn things. Let me ask you a question. What do you think everyone does with their batteries the minute they're done? Would they die out?
Chuck them into the garbage.
Garbage. Where's the garbage go?
Landfill,
which goes in the ground, which means there is millions of pounds of lithium just rotting away and like no one wants to talk about that. Windmills are unrecyclable. They're pointless. They're a loser. They're ran on diesel generators. The grease that you used to them. I mean, my whole point is not to say don't recycle, but like really look into it. Like we talked about earlier, no one knows extension cords. Like, don't throw them away. You actually get money for them. Computers, laptops, old stereos, toasters, any day stuff. Bring it down. You could turn it into money.
What's the biggest misnomer or myth about recycling, do you think?
That it's all full of crackheads and trouble. And no, we don't have that problem. the theft thing, which, like I said, we nipped that in the bud because we work with every local police department in the area. And we are hooked into a system where, say, if I don't want to even say someone's name, but like Joe Blow. So Joe Blow, if you're out there, not to be offended to you, not to be offensive to you, and you give me your license, I have a card reader, license reader at my place. If you've stolen and been convicted of theft, it pops up on my screen. Do not buy. So there's a statewide system to prevent theft. We don't get those guys or girls. We get people who want to recycle. I want the contractors, the electricians. I want the everyday guy who in spring goes, hey, I'm going to clean out my garage and buy a couple 12 packs. Like literally, that's why people go, I don't have that much. You'd be surprised what's laying around your house that you just throw in the back of a car and you bring down and you turn it into money.
What's the most amount of product anybody's brought into you at like sort of one session, or what's the most somebody's made off of, I guess, bringing stuff into you? Was there any like instance that really kind of stands out?
Oh yeah. I mean, when I worked for bigger companies, that's like industrial size stuff. And we have a lot of business customers and I'm grateful for every one of them. But a lot of guys, they'll do a demolition job or something. Hey, I got this copper, and there was one guy, it was $32,000 of copper. And then there's I don't want the guy to just come in once. Like I mentioned contractors a minute ago. I want them every Friday before bocce night, hey, I got this little bit, I'm going to bring it in. I want them every week. I want repeat business. I shouldn't say this, but I always said, I want like drug dealer business. They keep coming back. They keep coming back. And we make an effort to know we appreciate them, because a lot of businesses like mine, they sometimes make you feel like they're doing you a favor for coming. No, if people don't come, I'm out of business. So if I'm going to do anything I can to help people recycle, and if that means, and that in turn will keep them coming back. And the other thing is we're honest. When you, and I'm not just saying that, when you drive into our place, we have a screen about this size with the whole transaction, the whole weight. There's no abacus scale. Like you see the transaction live. If you don't like the price is right there. Yeah. So before we unload it, if you go, hey, I want more. Okay, well, that's what we're paying. And we do get a little bit of that, but people, they just like to haggle.
Right.
So I always tell people, I'm like, I don't go into a Bellaria and complain that Wedgwood's cheaper.
Yeah. How sorted should these things be that when people bring it, like bring it to you? Like, how, what should they have kind of sorted and separated prior to coming through your business?
That is a great question. I didn't know you were going to ask that. I'm really glad you did, because I tell people, I just had a trailer come in the other day loaded with cast iron, steel, aluminum, copper wire. And one of my guys told the guy, sort it. And he was like, I really don't want to sort it. And I said, let me put it this way. If you drop it off like this, you get 3 cents a pound, which will probably total about $22, or 4 cents a pound, which will total $22. If you take it out my parking lot and you separate it, guy walked out with $380.
Yeah.
So literally he would have been, and by the way, I'm not punishing people, but either you're going to sort it or we're going to sort it. If I got to sort it, I have to pay people to sort it.
Yeah.
So and this is why this is a great question. Certain contractors will come in and they bring copper pipe and they got the brass fittings. Well, that's not clean copper.
Yeah.
That's contaminated. It's dirty, whatever you want to call it. So we'll tell guys this, and they go, what do you mean if I clean it? We hand them bolt cutters and say, go out in the parking lot, clean your own stuff.
Yeah.
Bring it back in. And we show them how to make money. Now, a lot of old timers will say, you're educating your client. I want them educated.
Yeah.
Because if I make them money, they ain't going nowhere else. So that's a great question. That's what we try to do. Is you separate it or we separate it? We'd rather you separate it because not only will you make more money, it's no work for us. Literally, I'm paying guys to just dump buckets. You know what I mean?
What's the craziest thing anybody's ever tried to recycle? Or they thought was worth something and it was just like, yeah, no, man, that's just garbage.
So there's two grave markers. They came in once, and the guy was actually legit. He was from a local cemetery, and I flipped my lid. He's like, no, I work here. And I said, okay, I need a written letter from the cemetery on their letterhead stating what they're recycling and someone's name and phone number. I don't play with that stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite, and we don't have it anymore. I mean, we've gotten World War II stuff in, which, by the way, I didn't scrap. I ended up selling it.
Yeah.
Propeller from an airplane. But my all-time favorite is some guy on Glenwood Avenue was a freak, and he had a brass statue. It was in my office for about a year, and then I started getting questioned about it. But it was two brass women, like intertwined in one, wearing no clothes, and it was very detailed.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my God, like where did they get this? So we kept it around. It was kind of a mascot. And then I was like, too many family members were coming through. So I was like, I should probably get rid of this. Musical instruments, drum sets, bicycles. And that's not weird, but like what I tell people is when they come through, if they have an old bicycle, does it work? Yeah. There are certain groups I give it to.
Yeah.
And let them give them away. Like, I'm not going to scrap that. How many kids need a bike today? I know it's not a big deal with the way the world is, but it is a big deal.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many kids. And a friend of mine was redoing them, but I think he got inundated. So now it's just, we'll fix it up. We'll make sure it works, and we'll put a sign on it that says free. But yeah, there's been some weird stuff. Cool, mostly cool stuff, though. You know what I mean? But the grave markers and the brass statue was enough.
So if people want to get a hold of you, where can they find you online, and give the address if you would too? Yeah,
we are, of course, on the south side of Youngstown. We're at 98 East Florida, which is right off Market Street, right between the railroad tracks and Market Street. And we are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 3:50. Saturday, although we're closed this Saturday for the holiday weekend, we're usually open on Saturdays, 8 to 11:50. Free donuts every Saturday. 10% bonus to current and former veterans. So what that means is, we're talking about copper. If you're a veteran and you bring in 100 pounds of copper at $3 a pound, that's $300, right? Because you're a veteran, you get the 10% kicker, which automatically kicks you up to $330. We have a Facebook page that is ran wonderful. We are just starting to work on our Insta face page. I say that like, Instagram. I just don't run it. I don't run any of this stuff because I'm 52 years old. And if you have any questions, you could call us at 330-782-0689. We'll answer any question. We don't take vehicles, okay? Because we don't take anything titled. But if you have a question, you call. I will tell you where to go. I'm not afraid of throwing business somewhere else. All my competitors, every one of them in this Tri-County area, are my friends. Like, we all talk. We don't, we're all kind of spaced out enough. You know what I mean? It's like if a bar in Youngstown's friends with a bar in Boardman, you ain't stepping on each other's toes. So you could be friendly. If someone gets stolen from, hey man, this guy, we'll do that. Hey, we got a bunch of stuff stolen. Keep an eye out for it. So we kind of protect each other.
All right, great. Well, Kenny, hey, thank you so much for stopping down, man.
No, I appreciate you having me, buddy.
Cool.